just to set the scene, Miss Petty would flirt with all the boys in the class. Let me repeat that. The worst teacher I've ever had. Even worse than the next teacher who will throw furniture. Get out. Don't gotta tell me. Mr. Kennedy, gotta grab my figs, gotta grab my backpack, and you don't gotta tell me twice. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Mr. Cannon snaps. Miss Bold. A 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10, Miss Bold. Miss Bold. No. Miss Bold, you're pretty bold right now because hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another installment of my worst school experiences ever. And in this video, there's going to be three stories of the times that my teachers have just like come for my neck. Like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did to these teachers, but they hated me so much. Well, actually the worst story, the teacher really didn't hate me, but he just hated the people in the class that weren't me, aka everybody else. But let's just get into these stories because it's gonna get crazy. And I'll save the craziest story for last, so make sure to stay tuned to the third story. So story number one, let's take it all the way back to 6th grade. No, now that I think of it, I really don't. No, this wasn't in 6th grade. This was in 8th? 7th grade. Because in 6th grade, I only had 2 teachers. In 8th grade, I had a different English teacher. Okay, this is bad. I can't remember if this was in 7th or 8th grade, but I remember the whole story vividly, but I just don't know if it was in 8th or 7th. But basically, this was my English teacher, and we're gonna call my English teacher Miss Two-Face. No. Miss Petty. Well, she wasn't really petty. Miss Bold. She was pretty bold. So we're gonna call her Miss Bold. So I was in Miss Bold's English class. I'm laughing at the name Miss Bold. But I was in Miss Bold's, let's say 7th. I'm pretty sure it was 7th grade. Miss Bold's 7th grade English class. Miss Bold had the boldness and the nerve to hate me. I mean, she hated a lot of the kids in the class, but she really hated me. And in this class, I just remember us learning about a lot of like Greek mythology and stuff like that. So we like went really in depth into Greek mythology for some reason. I don't know why, but like the whole year was about Greek mythology. So I know so much about Greek mythology just because of this class. I don't know. But so Miss Bold hated me from the start. And it was really ironic because her son was the band teacher, because I did flute from 6th grade until 11th grade in high school. But Miss Bold hated me, and then her son, the band teacher, loved me. So I don't know what I did, but I did something because Miss Bold hated me. So every day I'll go in the class and it would be like the tension was high. Like I could just feel the hatred from her. And it went more from feeling the hatred to seeing the hatred on my grades, on my papers, because I would literally write the most like Nobel Prize winning essays and she would give me like a B-, C. I remember one time she gave me a 60. So on one of the Greek mythology tests, there was an essay at the end of the paper. And you know what, on like middle school tests, then like it will be the test, multiple choice, and the last page will be like the lines on the paper. So she gave us 1 page to write an essay, 1 sheet. And if you're an overachiever like I am, you know that 1 page, if they gave you 1 page, you're gonna write on the top corner, you're gonna write on the back of the paper, you're gonna write some of the essay in the line at the beginning of the test where it says name here. You're gonna write on literally every single inch of that paper to get as many points as possible. So that's what I did. I wrote so much crammed into that 1 paper, that 1 box. And I was like, I hit that out of the park. I'm amazing. I am the best essay writer across America when it comes to 7th graders. Like I was putting Zeus in there. I was putting Athena. I was putting, who else is in Greek mythology? I don't know. But I knew the right answers for that prompt. I was doing all the right stuff. I was putting metaphors, similes, everything in an English class. I put it in the essay. I get the essay. Guess what my grade? A 6 out of 10. Miss Bold. A 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10, Miss Bold. I was the last person in this class to finish. Miss Bold. No. Miss Bold, you're pretty bold right now because that was a 10 out of 10 essay. So what did I do? Classic. Felicia, I told my mom. And what did my mom do? Classic my mom. I don't know if they had like the app back then, because now they have like apps for contacting the teachers. I don't think they were that advanced when I was in 7th grade. They definitely weren't. Wait, how old was I in 7th grade? 13? So I was 2015? They definitely didn't have those apps back then. 2015 was like the dark ages. 2015 was like not anything like it is. So she probably had to just call the school. So my mom calls the school, sets up a meeting with the principal, and me, my mom, and the principal sit down in the office, and the principal's reading my essay, and he's like, she's talking about Zeus, she's talking about Athena, she's putting metaphors, she's putting similes, A+. And I'm like, thank you, principal, A+. And then, so Miss Bold, from that moment on, Miss Bold got very bold because she was very, very mad that the principal changed my grade to an A, because Miss Bold was not having me. I don't know what I did. I was like in school, I was like very shy, very like overachieving, just did like, not teacher's pet because I didn't really talk, because teacher's pets, I'm pretty sure you have to talk to the teacher. But I was like very, like there would be no reason for a teacher to hate me basically, but she hated me. And there's no other reason for the next teacher to hate me either, but we'll get to that. So Miss Bold got so mad that the principal changed my grade that she started giving me the same low grades for like the rest of like the couple weeks of school. So that was like in the middle of the semester, the term, however they divide middle school. But now it's ending, like it's nearing like the end of the semester. So now she's giving me like steady like B minuses. Even though in every other class I always had like A pluses. So she's giving me steady B minuses, steady B minus, steady B minus. And then my mom was just like, okay, obviously she's doing this on purpose. So my 7th grade self, my 13-year-old self, devises a plan. So basically one day I decided on my in-class work to just write a terrible essay and then see what she would do. So a couple days later, she called me up to the desk and was like, Felicia, is everything okay? And I was like, everything's perfect, Miss Bold. And she was like, okay, go back to your seat. And I was like, and yeah. And then in the end, my mom went to the school and had them change my grade to an A. The next story number 2. So now we're in high school. Now we're in 10th grade. So I was in 10th grade. It's always English. It's literally always English teachers. So in 9th grade, I had like the 9th grade English teacher that was like supposed to be like the most like ruthless English teacher. You know when like there's the teacher in the school that everyone's like, oh, that's the hardest teacher in the school, like you're gonna fail her class. Like that was the teacher I had. And she gave me a 100% in the class. Like English is my best subject, which is funny that all these things happen in English class. Well, the last one will happen in band, but that's besides the point. So I was in English class. And so that was in 9th grade. So now fast forward to the first day of 10th grade. So I have a new English teacher, and now this English teacher is, I think she was like 24 years old, which is crazy because I'm about to turn 24. And to think about like me being a high school English teacher, I feel like I'm a kid. So like now in hindsight, this story, like she was a kid, which makes sense of why she was so petty, but that's besides the point. So basically, let's just call her Miss Petty. So I walk into Miss Petty's class. Miss Petty. So I walk in. I'm thinking nothing of it. It's the first day of school, clean slate, don't know any of these people. Well, I know the people, but don't know this teacher. And then let's call my 9th grade teacher Miss Honey, because if you've ever seen Matilda, Miss Honey is the really nice teacher. So Miss Honey walks in, and Miss Honey goes up to Miss Petty, and she goes, oh, Felicia is like my best student I've ever had. Oh my goodness. She is gonna get a 5 on the AP test if she ever does AP English. She is just the most amazing English student. Oh my goodness. She writes like a poet, and she doesn't even know it. She's just like a novelist. She's just hyping me up. Like she needs to be a writer one day, which actually in my college English class, children's literature, my professor did tell me that I should be a children's book writer. So Miss Petty, take that. Okay. And my professor was an author. Miss Petty, if you're watching, I'm just kidding. But seriously, let's stop. Miss Petty, if you're watching this, you literally ruined my whole high school experience. So don't even, let me stop. Disclaimer, I want no beef with Miss Petty. Miss Petty, if you're watching this, there's no hard feelings, there's no beef. I mean, there's like a little bit of hard feelings. It's like a lot of beef, but I would never act on it. You can watch this video if you want. Okay, I'm getting off track. But okay, so while Miss Honey is telling Miss Petty that I'm like the best person ever, I see Miss Petty. So Miss Petty's like this. Hi, Miss Honey. Oh my goodness. Hi. Oh my goodness. And then as Miss Honey is talking about me and like gesturing towards me, Miss Petty's face is like, and then she turns towards me. And I was like, at that moment, I knew my grade just dropped 20 points. I knew for a fact. My final grade just dropped by literally 2-letter grades at that moment with that glare that Miss Petty gave me. I was like, Miss Honey, why? Miss Honey, why did you tell Miss Petty that I'm the best person ever? Please tell me. And then Miss Honey has the nerve to just be like, okay, bye, Miss Petty. See you soon. See you in the teacher's lounge. I'm like, Miss Honey, you just ruined my chances. Never mind. So basically, long story short, Miss Petty, if you guys saw my worst high school experience video where I get lost in the woods during the track meet, I did track and cross country in high school. Miss Petty was the assistant coach when I was in 10th grade. And she was only the assistant coach when I was in 10th grade. But she didn't really like interact with the long distance runners because I was long distance. So she didn't really like have to like be around me that much when like during the practices because I was long distance and she worked with like the sprinters and the short distance runners. But I just remember that like after that interaction with Miss Honey and Miss Petty, then I would be like at the meets like running past the, because when you do a cross country meet, you loop like the starting line and then you run the course 3 times. So all the coaches and the family members are at the starting line because you keep looping around. So every time I would pass, then she would just glare at me and like she was like searing a hole into the side of my head. She would just glare. Basically, Miss Petty would bore a hole in the side of my head during every single track meet. It was so uncomfortable. And I was so bad at running. Like, I'm already, like, nauseous running this race. I can't even focus. I'm like, my limbs are giving out. I'm dying. I'm sweating. And then you have a teacher glaring at me. Like, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, I'm begging you. So then, it gets even worse. So then we start to see the effects in class. So just to set the scene, Miss Petty would flirt with all the boys in the class. Let me repeat that. I was in 10th grade, so I was like 15. Miss Petty is like 24 years old. She would flirt with all the 15-year-old boys in the class. Miss Petty? Miss Petty. Miss Petty. Why, Miss Petty? Why? Yeah, so she would flirt with all the boys. It was so uncomfortable. And because she would flirt with all the boys, I don't know if this was the reason, but she hated all the girls in the class. Like, she couldn't stand any of the girls. So I don't know if she saw them as a threat to the boys that she was flirting with, but she hated the girls. And I never even talked to any of the boys in the class. So why hate me? I mean, I know you hate me because of the stuff that Miss Honey said and you felt threatened, but that's not the point, Miss Petty. So yeah, then so she would flirt with all the boys and then she would give everyone terrible grades. And even though she would give everyone horrible grades, I know for a fact that she gave me like on the spectrum of her giving people bad grades, like she would give people like D's, C's, B minuses, and then like some A minuses. But I was like in the C plus B minus range for I don't know why, because I've never gotten those grades ever until now. So I was stressed. I don't think honestly, I've been stressed in college because I've taken very hard classes in college. But that 10th grade English class was probably one of the most extreme feelings of stress I've ever felt in my life about school, about like academic things, was that 10th grade English class. Because my grade, so at this point we had the app where you could see your grades, because now it's like 3 years later after the last story. So now technology has advanced a little bit. So now we have the app and I am checking my app and my app is at a steady B minus. It's like at an 89.9 steadily. And I had a feeling that Miss Petty was grading my things in a way that it would stay at an 89.9. Like she would, because English is like, you write the essay and then the teacher like chooses what to grade. Like they always say English isn't subjective. That's the biggest lie. English is the most subjective grading. You literally write a paper and the English teacher is like, it's giving B minus. It's giving A plus. Like it's not math. Like if you do 2 plus 2 is 6, you're gonna get a 0. In English, if you say 2 roads diverge in yellow wood, then the teacher has to say, do I like that? Or is it giving 89.9? So so yeah, so she kept making my grade hover around 89.9. And I remember that I did this I did this video project for that class, and like me and my two friends who sat together in the class, and she also hated them, by the way, for no reason. But anyway, so me and my me and my two friends did the video project, and it was about the book 1984. We put up propaganda posters around the school and like put those in the video, and then one of my friends was the big brother person that like watches you, and then my other friend was like the main character. And then we did like the whole video, and it was like immaculate cinematography, like Oscar worthy acting. Like one point one of my friends like sprinting down the hall chasing my other friend, like, and I was like with the angles because I was the videographer. At one point she'd be running up the stairs, I'll be above in the staircase, then she'd be running upstairs, I'll be below. Like, it was movie magic, and we did everything on the rubric. And keep in mind, I said we put up propaganda poster and had it in the video. Everything was spot on to the point. And I stayed up all night editing the video. I remember I literally, when I was editing the movie, I like wanted it to be to perfection, so I was editing the video all night, and I stayed up all night and then went to school. So I went to school, did the video, and then went to school again. So I never even slept. That's how much I was just like doing the video in iMovie. So I just kept doing the video in iMovie. I was like, this is gonna be 100. This is gonna set my 89.9 over the edge to an A. Then I get to class. We present our let me stop. We present our video. The whole class is like, oh, that's the best video I've ever seen. This is the video, movie magic. This video, Felicia. This video, Oscar, Emmy, Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize is not for videos, but that's besides the point. Everyone loved the video. I look over to Miss Petty, straight-faced. Miss Petty, how would you not like that? Miss Petty, come on, why can't you like my video? Yeah, so guess what we got on the video? A B-. Oh my god, I can't even. Okay, this is gonna get way more petty than this. So we got a B-. And on the rubric, I remember she wrote that there's no propaganda in our video. We literally spent hours making the propaganda posters and hanging them up around the school and filming, like we literally filmed them like up close on my iPhone 5. On my iPhone 5, where's my iPhone 5? It's somewhere, I don't know. But on my iPhone 5, my gold iPhone 5, the white with the gold, the like flat sides, the rectangle little thing. Miss Petty, that was movie magic. Come on. But not to Miss Petty. So then she was like, B-. I was just done at that point. And then she started like halfway through the semester, she's changed her curriculum. So then we would have these vocab quizzes. I promise you, the vocab quiz was not incoherent sentences. It would be like 1, 2, 3, colon, P, push in P, semicolon, parentheses, asterisk, blank. I went to 2 roads at Diversion Yellowwood, comma, thank you, next, period. And then you're supposed to put one of the vocab words in the blank. And I was like, I'm supposed to put the word serendipity into that sentence with hashtags and colons and exclamation points? Miss Petty, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? Like, Miss Petty, what? Like, and the thing is that it might seem like I'm over exaggerating with what I just said. I wish I still had the papers. Like, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, there was like 9 semicolons in each sentence. There was literally a hashtag symbol in one of the sentences. I don't know if it was a typo. Honestly, but I remember there being a hashtag. And this is before hashtags, because like Instagram came out like this year, so there's no hashtag. There's no hashtags. Miss Petty. She maybe she was like the founder of Instagram. No, that could have been it. She could have been the founder of Instagram. But anyway, on to the pettiness. So the next thing Miss Petty does is she gives me C's on all of these vocab quizzes. And now at this point, I got C's on the vocab quizzes because I had no idea how to make any amount of sense out of these sentences, because I knew the vocab word definitions by heart. Like, I studied for hours for these quizzes. And once I got the quiz, I'm like, Miss Petty, this doesn't even make sense. And everyone in the class would fail the quizzes. And that's how you know that it's not you, it's the teacher. Because if everyone in the class is failing and all the kids in the class are like overachievers and like straight A's in every other class, then that's how you know that it's not you, it's the teacher and it's the curriculum. Because there's no reason for everyone to have A's in every other class besides this one class. And then all of a sudden you just have like a C. It makes no sense. So So yeah, then my grade definitely was staying at an 89. And at this point, I'm like trying so hard for the quizzes. And then I'm starting to get like a little bit better at the quizzes. I don't know how. I was just putting random stuff at this point because the sentences made no sense. And then it comes time for like the end of the year. So Miss Petty said, everyone come up to my desk and I'll tell you what your final grade will probably be and like what you have to do to improve it. So I go up to Miss Petty's desk. She's literally talking to every other student for like 20 minutes each. I go up to Miss Petty's desk. I'm up there for literally 10 seconds and she goes, Felicia, you have a 89.9 right now, but as long as you keep doing what you're doing, you're golden and you will get an A in this class. Rewind it. Bzz. She said, you are golden. You will get an A. Just keep doing what you're doing and see. Do you think that I was golden and got an A? It wasn't my fault. So, and I'm a big believer in the fact that the work you put in is what you get out. But I was putting in 10 times the amount of work I should have, and it was not paying off because it was Miss Petty being petty. So, and keep in mind, I literally had over 100 in like every other class in high school. I remember I got 104 in one class. So like, I'm not making stuff up. Like, it was Miss Petty. It wasn't me. It was Miss Petty. So. So then Miss Petty just starts like grading my things, like my essays, more of like the subjective things, like very low, like all B's. And for just no apparent reason, like she wouldn't even mark up the paper. Like I understand if you like have spelling errors or like grammatical errors, but I had no grammatical errors, no spelling errors, no errors at all. And she was giving me bad grades. I was like, Miss Petty, what do you want from me? So then I get my final grade and it's a B+, 89.9. And I think at this point it was probably like an 89.5. And then what does my mom do? Classic. Me and my mom go to the school and meet with Miss Petty, and coincidentally, this teacher that met the administrative teacher was the same teacher from my prom story time where I was at the after prom, and then the administrator was like judging me for being like, call my mom and get me out of here. But she was being petty in that story, but in this story, she is on me and my mom's side. She was always on me and my mom's side, but I just didn't like how she acted in that prom story. But anyway, but make sure to check out my prom story time if you want to know what I'm talking about. And yeah, so let's call the one who's on me and my mom's side Miss Confusion, because she was just confused. So Miss Confusion, Miss Petty, me, and my mom in the office of the high school. So Miss Confusion is trying to mediate, trying to get to the bottom of this. So I have never been one to like confront adults. I've never been one to confront adults. I've never been one to confront peers. I've never been one to confront children. I've never been one to confront anyone. Like, that's why I'm not the best at babysitting, because I don't even confront children. I'll be like, they'll be hanging off the rafters and I'll be like, be careful, guys. I'm exaggerating, but still. I'm just not good at confrontation. But this day, I don't know why, but I was so confrontational. This confrontation would literally keep me awake at night because I'm like, why was I so confrontational this day? Because like that was the first time I've ever been gaslighted. Is it gaslit or gaslighted? I don't know. Gaslighting. Let's look up the definition of gaslighting so we can set the scene of exactly what Miss Petty did. Gaslighting definition. Gaslight. Verb. Manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. That is what Miss Petty did in this meeting with Miss Confusion. So I had a meeting with Miss Petty, and she said that as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, she said that I will be golden and I'll get in the class. And she then started grading my papers lower than ever, and it set my grade lower than A. And now this is the first B that I've ever gotten in my life. A B+. This is the first B+ I've ever gotten in my life, and this is the first thing I've ever gotten besides an A in my whole life up until now. And let me not spoil the ending, but so basically that was what I said. And then Miss Confusion gave Miss Petty the floor, and Miss Petty started gaslighting. Miss Petty starts going, well, I'm just so confused that Felicia feels this way because, and then I just remember how she was talking. She's looking at me, well, I'm just so confused that Felicia feels this way because she's never given me any indication that this bothered her so much, because she always just sits in my class with a porcelain face. Because she always just sits in my class with a porcelain face. And that comment like disturbed me for like years. She said that I have a porcelain face, and then I instantly had flashbacks to all the times that I'll be running in the track meet and she would be staring at me, glaring me down. In class, glaring me down. The first day of school, glaring me down. I was like, it wasn't in my head. She was glaring and staring because she said that I always have a porcelain face. So she's saying that like she's always staring at me. Like, how do you know I have a porcelain face? Like, how do you know I have a porcelain face? You're supposed to be teaching, Miss Petty. So yeah, it was just so creepy. Okay, this is just, now I'm just being petty, but Miss Petty, you know when people dye their hair black, but then the hair dyes on their skin and it like won't go away? That was what Miss Petty's hair was. And like when it will dye their scalp, because scalps are supposed to be skin color. But I'm just being petty at this point, but I just remember Miss Petty as having like black hair dye all like around on her skin, around her hair, especially on her neck. And then she had a tattoo behind her ear. But that's so besides the point. I just wanted to add that in because Miss Petty, if you're watching this, no offense, I just remember that distinctly. But so Miss Petty's in my face saying that I have a porcelain face, and I'm like, Miss Petty, I've literally talked to you in class about the fact that like I don't understand why my grade is low, but now you're saying I have a porcelain face. I've never said anything. Miss Petty, no. So when she said the porcelain face thing, I don't know if it was before or after the porcelain face thing, but I just remember one specific point of the meeting that I was like sort of crying, and then when I cry, my voice gets louder. I don't know why, but I can't cry without talking loudly. So one of the girls in my group with the iMovie video, that project, then Miss Petty was really mean to her, so I started like getting petty myself, and I started saying, well, Miss Petty is too busy being mean to, let's call her Carla. So Miss Petty is too busy being mean to Carla to even I don't even remember what I said, but I said something about she'd be mean to Carla. And then Miss Confusion goes, well, let's stay on topic of just you and Miss Petty. Let's stay on topic. It's like good thinking, Miss Confusion, because she doesn't want the smoke. She doesn't want the smoke. She doesn't want the smoke. Yeah. So there was no smoke, but that's besides the point. So yeah, in the end, Miss Petty refused to change the grade, but Miss Petty wasn't like with Miss Bold. Like, she refused to change the grade to an A, like Miss Petty. So that was the only B I've ever gotten in high school. So I got a B+. Yeah, but it just bothered me so much with how Miss Petty treated me. And she would always like brag to the class about how she got a 5 on the AP test when she was in high school. And I understand more now because she was only like 24. I understand why it was like really close to when she was in high school. But still, like, don't flirt with the boys, the 15-year-olds. Don't brag. Don't stare at me in track meets. Don't say I have a porcelain face. And don't give me terrible grades and write coherent sentences on your quizzes. So yeah, that was just like the worst teacher I've ever had. Even worse than the next teacher who will throw furniture. So now let's get on to the last story. So let me collect myself. Whenever I tell a Miss Petty story, I always get heated. So, but anyway. So now let's get on to the next story, and we will call him Mr. Cannon, because it is going to be similar to Drumline, and Nick Cannon stars in the movie Drumline. By the way, if you've never seen the movie Drumline, you need to watch that. I love that movie. But if you've ever seen the movie Drumline, you know that in the South, the bands are like hundreds of kids, and they take band very seriously. There's dancers, there's costumes, there's every single instrument you can think of in the band, there's matches, there's competitions, they face off. Band is huge in the South. So my band teacher, we had like a different band teacher every year of high school for some reason, but my band teacher this year was from a school in the South, and he moved here to teach in my high school. I don't know who told him that would be a good idea, because my band was like 10 kids, maybe 20, probably 13. None of us even played our instruments. None of us practiced. None of us cared. None of us. I'm pretty sure we just did band so we didn't have to do gym. Because if you do band, you don't have to do gym. I don't know why you don't have to do gym if you do band. What does that have to do with it? Anyway, I mean, if it was like in the South, then that is a lot of physical exercise. But not in my school. All we did was sit down and go on our phones the whole band class and just twiddle our thumbs and pretend to play. But yeah, I was actually pretty good. Oh, by the way, I played the flute in the band. But I was pretty good at the flute. But I still didn't practice that much, and definitely not drumline level. So we get the new teacher. This is also in 10th grade. 10th grade was just a crazy year for me. So we get the new band teacher and he like cracks down on us. He's like, no, you're not gonna keep, wait, maybe this was 9th grade. Wait, no, this was, I don't know. No, this was 10th grade because when okay, I'm gonna spoil it, but yes, okay, this is 10th grade. But, yeah, so he came to the school, he cracked down on us, he made us practice every day. He made us do drills, he made us do vocal warm-ups, like the Sharpay. He did everything to whip us into shape and make us like orchestra level band students. Like SpongeBob, literally it was like SpongeBob when Squidward, the Band Geeks episode when Squidward teaches all of them how to play instruments, and at the end, winner takes all. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Okay, anyway. That was what that teacher did to us. Whipped us into shape like Squidward. Everything's all well and good. So we already became SpongeBob at the end of the Band Geeks episode. Like, we were already doing great, but that wasn't good enough for Mr. Cannon. So eventually, Mr. Cannon always got very angry at my friend. I had one friend who was older than me, like she was a year above me. She was a grade above me, and she also played the flute. And she always got in trouble by Mr. Cannon because he always got mad when she would look at the clock. So like you guys is like his perspective, and I'm me. And then, or I'm my friend. Let's call my friend Victoria. So my friend Victoria is like she's looking at the clock the whole class like this, because the clock is on the ceiling or under the ceiling on the wall. I kind of understand that Mr. Cannon was annoyed by that because he always told her to stop doing that because he's like, focus on improving your flute playing. This class is only an hour long. Stop looking at the clock. Whether you look at the clock or not, you're still going to be in the class, and I'm not going to let you out earlier or later. So just stop looking at the clock. Like he couldn't stand it. And because he was from a drumline school, they don't take nonsense. If you're going to have to drop and get 50 push-ups if you do that in like a drumline, like the drumline movie. But Victoria would not take that, so she just kept looking at the clock, and I was like, Victoria. So this is the bad part. So in the band, the flutes sit in the front. So Mr. Cannon, I almost said his real name, Mr. Cannon's stand, like the music, where the music sheet goes, if you're not familiar with bands, so his stand was right in front of me. And if you are familiar with music stands, when it's like a real expensive music stand, they're very heavy, they're metal. The edges of them where the music sheet goes is sharp. So his music stand is right in front of me, like literally like this close to me, like less than 3 feet in front of me. I'm sitting there, so I'm playing my flute. Victoria is over there looking at the clock, and it's almost at the end of class. Well, I think it was like 30 minutes until the end of class. Everything's going perfectly fine. There's like no tension in the room. Like everything's fine. No tension in the room. Like it was like just a normal day in bed. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Mr. Cannon snaps and freaks out. And he takes his baton, like when they go, he takes his batons and he slams it down on the music stand so hard. And it's like the loudest noise. And because he's right in front of me, I'm like I was like, what just happened? What was that? Like, I got so scared. It was so scary. I didn't know what was happening. And then he started screaming. And I can't say on this video what he said because there's community guidelines there. This is a family channel. I can't say what he said, but he was saying some very non-family friendly things. He was freaking out, saying all these words. And then he took the stand and threw it. Keep in mind how heavy and sharp it is. He threw it because bands are like, there's the first level and there's the second level and there's the third level. And it's like that carpeted floor. So kids are like around in like a semicircle, but like on the levels. So he threw the stand like to his right. I remember that. And then there's kids over there. Like the other instrument players, and everyone like is like getting up like, what do we do? And then like everyone's like standing like at attention, like, is he gonna like attack us? Like, what is happening? And then I remember he starts screaming, get out, I can't say what he said. Get beep beep out. Don't gotta tell me that. Mr. Cannon, gotta grab my things, gotta grab my backpack, and you don't gotta tell me twice. Then he grabs a drum from the drum kit. Like, you know, the drum kit, there's like different drums. He takes one of them. I'm running up the like incline thing. He didn't throw it at me, but there's kids like trying to scramble to get out of here. He throws the drum like in like the general direction of these two. This isn't funny, but just like it's insane. That's why I'm laughing. Like I can't believe that this actually happened. So he throws the drum, and then the band shape, the shape of the band room was like weird. So like the wall, like where he was. Okay, so he's here at the back of the room. Then the wall like goes like this, and then goes like this, and there's a door to the outside of the high school. So because it was like that indent, he threw the drum, and then the drum hit the wall and made like the loudest noise. Everyone was so scared. Like the drum hit like where that corner of the wall was, and then everyone's running. He's like, get out, beep, 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 and everyone's like, and there's still like 30 minutes of class left, but it's all because Victoria looked at the clock. So it's like 30 minutes left of class, and then everyone is just in the hallway like, what do we do? Like, do we call the cops? Like, do we literally call the cops? Everyone was so scared. And keep in mind, we're only 15. So we're like, what? So we were all like, okay, we have to tell the principal and like the administrators, because he needs to get fired for this. He literally just like threatened our lives just because Victoria looked at the clock, and Victoria was all shaken up because she wasn't like even though she kept looking at the clock, she wasn't like a bad student or like argumentative or like anything. Like she was just looking at the clock. She just didn't realize that he was literally gonna freak if she looked at the clock. So yeah, so Victoria was all upset that we were like, we gotta do something. So one of my friends ended up going to the office and saying what happened. But then she didn't tell them, like, I don't think she told them in like vivid detail like what actually happened. But then the next day, then other kids in the band were like called down to the office, and then they had to say like what happened. So then the truth like came out like in full, like and then I remember, wait, I thought that band waived the gym requirement, because how come I was in gym? I don't understand my high school, because I know that you didn't have to do gym if you did band. But no, I think I personally chose to do both. That's what happened. Okay, so I was in gym, and then my friend who originally was like, we need to tell them. Then she was like, did you get called down to the office? I was like, no, I didn't. And then she was telling me who did, and then saying that Mr. Cannon's gonna get fired and stuff. But it was just so funny. And then she was also on the track team, so we were like discussing it on track. And then like we were like spreading the rumors, even though the rumors were true. All the rumors are true, yeah. Mr. Cannon tried to kill us. But yeah, we were spreading it. You won't believe, girl, you won't believe what happened to me. Girl, what? Mr. Cannon tried to kill me. He threw a drum at my head. Wait, this was supposed to be one person, and this was supposed to be the other person. I'm ruining it. But it was just crazy. And then I remember it was so awkward, because then the next week we had to go back to band class with Mr. Cannon. It was so cringy because we had to go back to band with Mr. Cannon for like a few more weeks, and I still had to sit right in front of him. And when so the next class, it was also so funny when my friend was we would like meet up in the hallway to discuss like the judicial matter of him getting fired, because we would like meet in the hallway, like we'd be like boom, 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 and then we would like meet up by the lockers or like in the locker room, and then be like, sunglass emoji, we're getting this guy fired. But it was just funny. But I mean, I wish that didn't happen to me. That was very traumatic, but it was still funny. You can either laugh or cry. When he had to do the next class with us, I could not look up. Like that was probably the most uncomfortable I've ever felt in my life, because I was sitting right in front of him, and then he was apologizing to the class about how he literally tried to kill us, and then I had to sit right in front of him, 3 feet in front of him, and my head was just down the entire time, and I could just feel him staring at my forehead, because I would not look at him. Wait, I'm just remembering now, I'm pretty sure that he actually pulled me aside. I didn't even remember this until right now. He actually pulled me aside and asked me if I was okay, because I wouldn't look at him while he's apologizing to us. Like, this guy was crazy. He literally said, Felicia, is everything okay, because you wouldn't look at me while I was apologizing. It's like, dude, you literally threw a drum at my head, and I'm supposed to look at you? I can't believe it. And I've also had some pretty bad teachers in college. I think only one, but that's not really much of a story. That's just like a weird experience. And if you guys want more crazy school experience videos, definitely comment below, because I have a lot more stories like this, because my school career was and is just insane. And I'm in my last semester of college, so hopefully I don't have any more crazy experiences in the next 2.5 months, because I'd like to exit school once and for all without any more insane things happening to me. No more drums thrown at my head, no more swears, no more No more people calling me porcelain. No more nothing. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching today's storytime video. And also make sure to check out my storytime playlist. And probably my favorite video on my storytime playlist is the one when I got scammed by the Instagram boss babes. And that video is like 52 minutes. So definitely grab some beverages and some snacks if you're gonna watch that one, because that one's a long video. But I have the receipts and that one gets crazy too. But thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.